Come here. Get in, everybody. Self-love, they say, eh? Self-love. I'm about to love you more than anybody's ever loved you in 15 minutes. Well, maybe not. Come here, in. Big squeeze. How yous doing? I want to show you this video first. It really is. I show it every month, and I show it every month because we're missold, we're fed big fat lies, and it's not good fats either. It's shit fats, it's trans fats, it's canola oil and soybean oil and cottonseed oil and all the crap of the day. But actually, the blood sugar issue is so misunderstood. And you may well be working with a personal trainer who, works out your calories for you, your BMR, and says to you, okay, Lucy, you could eat for your age, weight, height, the fact that you're female, you've got a relatively sedentary lifestyle. Here's how many calories you need to get into a calorie deficit, let's say, to lose weight. And so she works out all these foods, and she goes for low-fat yogurt, and she goes for a bagel, a low-carb bagel, maybe even, a baked potato, and she goes for all these different things because it fits in with her calorie requirement per day, but actually the blood sugar effect and the hormonal impact of that is causing her all the bother in the world, and she cannot shift the belly, she cannot improve her mood, she's still got brain fog, she's got aches and pains, she's a grain eater, she's still got aches and pains and joint issues, and she doesn't really know why. So please watch this, it's hugely important. Leslie and Jill and Megan, if you're watching, please tag all the rest of the girls into this. Everybody has to get eyes on this, and actually, if you've seen it many times before, fine. It's a fantastic reminder, because when you self-sabotage, which I'm going to come on to, all of these things that I've just mentioned come back. So please listen and take it all in. Here we go. Can you all hear me? Maybe we should check first. Yep. Great. Okay, here we go. Share this with you, share that, share that, share that. You are. Right, it takes 3 minutes, okay?
Dietitian Alison Barnes wants to show a group of office workers just how much energy in the form of sugar these carbs release into their bloodstream.
Okay, so I've lined up a selection of foods. We've got a bagel and a chocolate muffin.
Okay, so
I would say that is more sugar than this one.
maybe 2 cubes for that one.
We're calling this blood sugar bingo. Can our volunteers guess the equivalent cubes of sugar in each of these foods?
What do you think?
Yeah, let's
5 to make it.
let's go 5.
Okay.
So you've gone for the muffin as the slightly higher one. I'm just going to add to that.
Whoa.
Double.
Oh my. Okay.
So 10 sugar cubes in that muffin. This one, so you've gone for 2, so it's more starchy, less sugary?
Yeah, let's
Yes, that's
Okay.
what we're guessing.
Yeah. So let's just add to this one.
Oh, well,
Wow. Maybe not.
That's the same as the muffin. I'm going to add one more.
More sugar.
So there's 11 sugar cubes equivalent in this bagel.
I'm shocked. I won't lie. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
What you're saying is that in the bagel, when you eat it, you chew it up and start to digest it, your body is breaking that starch down into that quantity of sugar.
The equivalent of sugar, yeah, exactly. This is a portion of white rice, and then you've got a nice bowl of strawberries.
The rice.
Yes, let's go for 5.
Because I would never have put sugar with rice. Strawberries. I would put half of that bowl.
They are sweet.
2 more, yeah.
Okay, so in this amount of strawberries, there is 4 sugar cubes. So yeah, so although they taste sweet, actually the amount of carbohydrate that they contain is quite small. So let's compare that to this portion of rice then.
No.
So you've gone for 5, so just let me...
No.
What I'm going to do, I'm just going to do this.
I'm not eating rice again.
Oh, words.
Oh my God.
Really?
It's grains of sugar that we're eating.
Yeah, I'm not eating rice no more.
And there, so that's 20 sugar cube equivalents. jacket potato.
Yeah.
Can you not do that? It's my favourite food, potato.
I would go with
Similar to the bagel. Yeah.
like about 10.
You've got quite a good poker face, Alison.
So in fact, there's 19 sugar cubes in this jacket potato. It's almost double what you thought. And I'm so sorry, Hannah.
gonna cry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shock where they're hiding all the sugar.
I think one of the key things to take away from this is that looks can be deceiving. So just because a food doesn't necessarily taste sweet doesn't mean that there's not going to be sometimes an awful lot of sugar going into your system after you've eaten it.
The thing that this really rams home for me is that there is a huge amount of energy in a potato, and that pile of glucose there that your body will turn the potato into will be stored as fat unless you burn it off.
Unless you burn it
So you
off.
have to be careful about what you're putting in your mouth.
So, there we go. And if you've seen it before, great. Right, listen. I'm going to simplify this down even further, because here is where the problem is. So we eat all these things, and so what we do is we have a glucose tank in our bodies, and we have a glycogen tank, and then we have our body fat stores, and we will never get to the body fat stores until we burn down the glucose and the glycogen. But we can never really do that, because all we're eating is essentially sugar. You've just seen that there. There's sugar in absolutely everything. And there's more sugar in grain, or more of a blood sugar impact in grain than white table sugar. Grain, breads, pasta, cereals, crackers, all that stuff, even though it's low fat, it's even more detrimental. The glycemic index is even higher, which means you will never really get out of the stuckness of the belly. You're going to the gym, which is fine, but you're going to the gym and all you're really doing is burning into that glucose tank. But the body fat's over here. We've got the glucose tank to burn down, we've got the glycogen tank to burn down to get to the fat. We'll never really do that because we just keep topping these two tanks up. And so there's got to be somebody somewhere that's on the same page as me, and there are many, but we don't really hear this round these parts. And you certainly don't, because you say to me, I'm working with a personal trainer, and they've never talked to me about this. So whether it's a personal trainer, a nurse, a doctor, whoever, you really need to understand the hormonal impact of all of these shitty foods. Healthy whole grains? Bollocks. They are not healthy whole grains, are they? Should they be the base of the food pyramid? No, they should not. Good fats. Good fat has a negligible effect on blood sugar, which is why you can burn fat when you eat fat. Eat fat, get thin. Mark Hyman's book, Eat Fat, Get Thin. Dr. William Davis. There's so many people, he's a cardiologist, talks about this all the time, but we're missold because of Big Pharma, because of a lot of our doctors, not all of them, and because of in the UK, our NHS, and we're misinforming people. And we have many midwives on here, we've got many nurses on here, and we've had many messages to say, wow, Shelley, this has changed my life, and I'm telling my colleagues about this, and we're now all on here. It's massive, it really is massive, and I don't want to take up too much time with it, but it was important to say that because some people are new to this programme, and it is shocking, of course it's shocking, and we need to know, but the hormonal impact, i.e. insulin. Whenever you eat blood sugar, insulin is produced to try and take the blood sugar down, because when your blood sugar is too high, it's not a good state, and you will fall out with your body's equilibrium, or the steady state, let's call it. And if it goes too high, then that causes a lot of problems. Body fat is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many associated health conditions: pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, fibromyalgia, Alzheimer's, mood disorders, brain fog, aches, pains and whatever. Anyway, listen, I'm going to put that to the side for now, and that was just to reassure you that your meal plans by design are created so you do not get any of the blood sugar spikes that cause all of the problems that I've just talked to you about. Be reassured. Knowledge is power. Education is everything. Okay, so we'll keep that there. I want to say congratulations for all of your achievements. There are still so many people not told us what their achievements are, but a lot of the achievements all usually boil down to weight loss. But it's so much bigger than weight loss, especially this month. It's self-love month. Love yourself because you are phenomenal. Who you are right now is phenomenal. I want to talk to you about that in a minute. But let me just speak to you about a post I've just seen by our very own Leslie Duncan. A day worth celebrating on all accounts. Please listen. Shelley introduced me to this way of eating, the way of not eating, i.e. grains, because it's National Grain-Free Day, thank goodness, somebody's listening. Shelley introduced me to this way of not eating 2.5 years ago, and it completely transformed my life. My debilitating health issues of rheumatoid arthritis, inflammation and pain started to leave my body in just a few short weeks. This is reassuring for any of you who have rheumatoid arthritis, who thinks that you just need to live with it. You don't need to live with it. And you don't need to just live with it and take medications. Food is medicine. How you think is medicine. How you move is medicine. We can help you. I can help you. Just listen, please. Within a few months, I could honestly say I felt like a completely different person, almost like someone had literally flicked a switch. I could move my body without feeling pain, I could move my body without feeling stiff, and I could move my body into positions like I was a 10-year-old. Within 6 months, my consultant started to reduce my huge amount of medication I was on, and still to this day, he reduces it even more. I sometimes feel like he is still a bit reluctant, but the proof is in the x-rays that he takes of my joints each year. No swelling, no inflammation. By a rheumatoid arthritis sufferer in the past. Wow. Hope your ears are pricking up. Perking up, pricking up, pricking up. Until you have physically and mentally experienced this sort of thing, that I even struggle to put into words, then some people will just never understand. For me, I'm just grateful beyond words. What Shelley has brought into my life, I could never be more grateful for each day. And nor can my girls. She's a mother of 3, remember, 3 young girls. I can't say they got their mum back, as she was never like this before. Instead, they have a new mum, full of life, love, happiness, beyond words. Unbelievable. That is worth celebrating indeed, Leslie Duncan. Well done. Congratulations. You're amazing, which is why you are quite strategically part of my team now. And I seen all of this, 2.5 years ago. Wow, 2.5 years ago. Jeezy peeps. So, success, love, grateful. Loads of things in that post, Leslie, that's worth celebrating. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right, let me get on to the meat and bones of this. Self-love is the starting point to absolute world class, whatever your world class is. Your world class and my world class will be different things. The doorway to your success will definitely open inward. Until we get to inside here, until we actually get you to really feel and really connect and really know who you are always going to run into 2 words that I see in people that jump off a field at B, sometimes too quick, sometimes because they've not embraced it properly, is self-sabotage. Self-sabotage. Now, self-sabotage really just boils down to when you don't think you deserve to be or feel or express or create impact or attract prosperity, attract love, and all the good stuff is what I call it. You don't truly deserve it. And so when you don't feel like you deserve it, you could read all the self-help books the world has got to give you. You could go on all the courses that are put on from Tony Robbins to whoever else. You could do as many feel-look bees as there is. But one thing will always keep happening. That elastic band of willpower will snap and it will actually ping you back the way. So I should have went, because it'll send me back the way. And it really is, all it does is it just indicates that there's a lack of self-love, of real true connection with who you're supposed to be. Your prosperity and your income is always a reflection of your self-identity. Some notes here. Your daily behaviours are always a reflection of your deepest beliefs about who you think you are. You could never be as creative and as productive and bring your unique genius to the world if you are full of hatred for who you are, or you're full of bitterness and resentment. You can't do that. You can't build somebody up and love and care and show kindness and smile at people in the street and create abundance wherever you go if you don't actually like who you are. It's never going to happen, which is what we see a lot of the time. Now, sometimes, actually, I was watching a TED talk the other day and I thought, I'll need to remember this. Because I watch and listen to loads of different things and I always think, right, and if I don't have a notepad, I always say to myself, right, I'm going to remember this, and half the time I bloody well forget. But I did remember this. We've all got somebody on Facebook, and I'm saying we've all, but I don't fall victim to this one, but I know a lot of people do. We're living in a world of comparison, especially with digital media and social media and all that jazz. And so there's always somebody on Facebook who has what they think is the ideal life. They've got the ideal relationship, the ideal family set up, they look beautiful, they're on family portraits, and the whole lot of them look stunning, and you think, oh God, her life is just incredible. And a lot of people roll their eyes, or they go, for fuck's sake, or they go, that there is no reflection on them. Your response to that is a complete reflection of you. You're doing the whole comparison thing, but actually, that self-love thing, there's something in there that's missing. If you are doing that and you're feeling that resentment and that maybe jealousy or bitterness or discontentment, there is something there within you, not this person. And the world is flooded with it. Look at all the trolls and the haters on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. And somebody is just doing something that's harmless. Now, I know a lot of people on Instagram now, and the shit that they get behind the scenes is awful. I've had bits and bobs of it, and it's just that. It comes down to self-love every single time. That person does not feel what we need them to feel. That self-love of, you know what, I've got my story, but you know what, I'm fucking special. There is nobody like me. There is no one walked in my shoes and had my experiences and had to deal with what I've had to deal with. There is nobody with your level of greatness and potential and enthusiasm, and actually the gifts that you've got, nobody else has got them. You've got your own fingerprint, you've got your own thoughts, you've got your own tone and way of talking. There is only one of you. But what if you haven't addressed all of the stuff that you need to address, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, to actually get to loving who you are? Now, I've had loads and loads of time to reflect on this because I've been away with Leo, and it's great. I don't know if you've ever done this, anybody, but you go away with just your child or your children, and it's just you. And as much as it could be hard, because Leo likes the pool, the pools seem to be always fucking freezing cold, so it's like cold water therapy all over again. Every 5 minutes he's wanting you. So as much as it could be hard, and he's wanting me in the sea every 5 minutes as well, which, oh dearie me, another story. It's also really, really rewarding, because what I'm going to share with you what I've done with my life in a minute, in the hope that it helps you do the same thing. So, where am I? So if you don't feel like you deserve that fortune, if you don't feel like you deserve financial freedom, you don't feel like you deserve that job, that relationship, that thing, the stuff that you think everybody else has got that you don't, then there's loads of work to be done on you. I have done tons of work on me. I have done so much work on me over the years, but it takes you showing up and doing it. It takes you actually caring about yourself, stepping out and going, do you know what? I'm never going to get over this until I go in. The door of success opens in the way, it definitely does not open out the way. So I need to do the work, and I need to show up, and I need to listen to this Shelley Booth. So, pause. We've heard of the imposter syndrome a lot, haven't we? When you feel like you're that imposter and you can't actually get to where you think you need to be because you keep hijacking your efforts. You keep self-sabotaging. You've lost 4 stones. You look insane. Have been on Feel Look Be, you've met loads of virtual pals, and you have exercised more this last year than you ever have, and you feel on top of the world. And then all of a sudden, what happens? You start drinking too much. The bitterness that you thought you let go, it creeps back again. That wee jealous thing that you had, that you thought you've done all the work on, it's back again. Shit! Thought I got rid of that. Thought I'd done the work. But you lapsed. You've not done the work for 4 or 5 months. You've certainly not been walking like you were. 10,000 steps, you were smashing that. You've not been hardwiring the meal plans, getting the meal plans to the T, because they work like a dream. You've not been doing the mindset stuff, so you've lapsed. So no wonder all that shitty stuff's come back again, because it's daily fucking work. It takes hard work. So I'm going to give you like 4 tips on what I think will help, and then I'm going to dig a wee bit deeper into some of my deep stuff. Now, I want to say, we've got 3 weeks of deep stuff. I'm hugely private as a person. I keep my cards close to my chest, but to get you to a point where you're free to share and be and think and feel, then I need to share some of my stuff so that it takes you there, or hopefully will take you there. But I want you to keep it private. I don't want you to be speaking to anybody. There's quite a lot of people here from Dundee. I don't want you to be talking about my business. That's maybe asking that impossible, because some people can't fucking help themselves. But I'm asking you to keep this private, your thoughts, and keep me safe, and I'll keep you safe too. That's my job. You're safe here. So, the first thing is honour your specialness. Honour how great you are. As I said to you before, you're completely unique. There is nobody like you. There is nobody can do your stuff like you do it. And in fact, you're maybe even in a job that you know there's massive potential there for other things, but you've just not got it right now. You're not in the right place or space or headspace or frame of mind. But it's there. So you have to harness that. You need to know that it's there, and I promise you, you will get there the more you do this work. I promise. I would put my life on it, actually, if you show up and you do this stuff. So you need to honour how great and unique you are right this very second. Not next week when you've lost another £6. Not in 2 months' time when you're 3 stone down. So what? Right now, you've got all of that in you. This book, she talks about when you're born with a really, really colourful palette, a paint palette, and it's really colourful and it's got massive potential, and you've got to create the most vibrant life. But society and people and things, they squash you and they drain the fucking life out of you. And before you know it, a lot of people's lives look pretty black and white. The paint palette has been stripped, the colours, fuck knows where they are, and it's very, very black and white. And that's what life can do to you, can't it? But actually, when you peel back all of that stuff of what's happened to you, all of that beautiful paint palette is still there waiting on you. It's still there waiting on you right now. You just need to tap into it. And I did, and that's how I managed to change my life as well. Stop there. So, just on that note, when you start realising how special and great and the potential that you've got is, I'm not saying that you're going to be one of these people that's all about fucking you, and it's, you become really arsey and ignorant with it, and because there's a lot of those people out there too. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, realise how special you are. When you bring that to the world, people are going to benefit. You're going to help people. Service and significance. You'll be service and significance out your nut when you bring your specialness to the world. So you own that. That's not, it's all about me and I'm an arse. There's too many people like that, actually. But when you're harnessing who you are, you own that. And I'm giving you permission to own that. You take it. Run with it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, do the hard stuff, because there's not very many people doing the hard stuff. There's not very many people stepping off that path that's been well trodden and recreating and doing things a bit different and thinking out the box and showing up daily, and no matter how hard it gets and what's going on in your life, actually bringing it to the table, bringing your A game, no matter how shitty you feel. I'm here. And this is my non-negotiables now. Feel it be? Yeah. I'm not giving that up for nobody. And in fact, Shelley was on alive. Well, you'll just need to wait, right? Because this is about me. This is Self-Love Month. Beat it. Do the hard stuff. Show up. Commit. Dedicate. In fact, there's such a lack of dedication. There is such a lack of commitment in the world. No wonder the world's fucked. No wonder the world's on its arse. Because it's so easy to bum out of things and go, nah, it didn't work. No, it's so easy. Who's put an angry face, by the way? Stop doing that. It's so easy to go, nah, can't be bothered. Nah, it's fine to say this isn't for me. It's not right for me. But that apathy and that lethargy thing, that Kevin the teenager thing, we need to stop that, don't we? And we need to do the hard stuff. Sweat the small stuff, do the hard stuff. Practice gratitude. I've spoke about this so many times over the course of Feel It Be, but it's absolutely essential, which is why I brought out my own gratitude journal. And in fact, the gratitude journal is actually really amazing because, talking about on holiday, sharing loads of experiences that you don't actually have time to discuss with your kids when you're working and I'm on lives and he's at his clubs and just talking about stuff. And in fact, I've got many of these that are completely stacked to the gunnels. And I'm going to put them away for him. And one day he's going to sit and read them. And it's going to fast track him to where he needs to be. And I know it is. I know it's going to help him. So that's one thing that I would say to you. If you actually practice gratitude, but you journal it as well. So be actually grateful. Feel grateful, be grateful, live grateful. For everything. For the meal that you sit and eat. For the time that you've got. For the resources that you've got around you. For how hard you work. For the smell of spring coming in. Today I went for a walk. Spring is on its way. Just be deeply grateful as much as you can for everything that you can. And the more grateful you are, the more you're going to appreciate everything that comes your way. And last one is help others. So that's service and significance thing. The more you help others, the more deeper you'll be able to love yourself, I promise. I'm living proof of that. I invest in so many people, I put my time in so many people, I love people and I want to see them do well from my heart. Not my head, but from my heart. I feel people, I get them, I'm rooting for them, and obviously I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours online with people trying to, just like this, in this sort of setting, help them, and I've done it. I've smashed out the fucking park, and I've not even got started yet. Isn't that bonkers? I want to help thousands and thousands and thousands, millions more people elevate their lives, fix their health, get to a really good place in their mind where they get the mindset stuff. Didn't want to do the mindset stuff. I just joined Feel It Be because I wanted a meal plan. Well, that's just nonsense then, if that's the case. That's just crap, because it's so much more than that. It's so much bigger than that. You get a meal plan from anybody. In fact, you want a meal plan, go on and get a paleo meal plan from somebody. Easy, no bother, free. That's not what you're here for. So, as a child, if you had... See, when somebody's emotionally not available for you, you end up suffering. If somebody doesn't nurture you or care for you or give you the things that you need, and it might be, they might be physically loving, but a lot of people are just, they're not emotionally loving or emotionally available is the word I'm trying to use here. And when that happens, you do become, I suppose, conditioned, and your beliefs start forming, and you start seeing the world in a different way. And I don't know if, like me, any of you were brought up with a drinker in the family. Obviously, my dad was a very, very heavy drinker. In fact, nobody called my dad an alcoholic, but he was. But he worked. And so when you're brought up in that environment, as you may have been, because let's face it, so many of us have been, it becomes a really difficult situation to manage, especially as a child. And you're trying to navigate your way through at the same time as think about your mum and protect your mum. And so you mature a lot quicker, I think. Well, I did. And there's loads of things that the door of my success has definitely opened inward because I've used this story for good. And I'm going to tell you about a few things that I've done, and it all comes back to self-love, right? So a few things I've done. These are self-belief upgrades, I think, is what I've done over the years. As soon as I was mature enough to realise my story, and as soon as I was mature enough to realise that my story could help others, it was like therapy for me. And I started to talk about it more, and I started to try. I was healing myself inside because I was talking about it. I was making it real. Nobody really spoke about it. And I lost my dad. He was 56. It was health, lifestyle related. No drugs, alcohol, smoking, vegetable oils every single night. Vegetable oils. Need to hit that home again every time. So it was atherosclerosis. It was a narrowing of the arteries, but it was because of his lifestyle. But yeah, this alcoholic thing, nobody dared say that word. So it was very much hush hush, although it was the big fucking elephant in the room. So some of the things that I've done, do you know what? It's only because of Feel Look Be that I've actually given them any thought. I don't know if you've seen on various things, but there's two big giant Buddha heads at my door, and that's, to me, it's very obvious now, but it's symbolic of, this is my protection, this is my space, don't fucking come near, don't mess here, right? These two great big Buddhas are looking after us in here, and my son's in here, and don't even think about it. And that, to me, highlights that safety and protection and care and love are very much in here. And they are in everybody as well, of course, I know that. But these are things that I've done that I can reflect on and go, do you know what? I didn't realise that at the time. So safety, that safety thing, when you're brought up with a drinker, sometimes you don't feel safe. You don't know the lay of the land. There's going to be fighting, there's going to be animosity and fallouts and silences that go on for days, and that's not safe for a child to feel. So that's one of the reasons I think I do have Buddhas at my door. The second one is space. I was brought up in a tenement, and as much as, many people were at the time, all my pals, you've got a few stairs up, there's a neighbour there, a few stairs up, there's a neighbour there, a few stairs up, there's a neighbour there, so you're 12, 15 tall of a building, and so it's like cabin fever. And I now know that Leo's got his own space, he's got his own room, he's got his own bathroom, and I'm very, very aware of how I felt as a youngster. I was like cabin fever. There was no space. So that's one of the things that I've obviously come to realise I'm creating. And so when you can devise your own lifestyle, when you can design your own lifestyle, you definitely can, because I am. But I'm doing it for all of these reasons. And it's not until you start talking about it, you start going, all of these insecurities and all of these issues that I had, I'm slowly unpicking them and unpacking them and actually making life better for me and the people that are in it because of my story. So actually my story's made this. That's amazing. Your story could make you. You could design your own life, like now. If you don't have it now, you need to know that you can have it. The abandonment thing. I have abandonment issues, definitely. And rather than Leo have abandonment issues, I've everybody in Leo's life. I've made sure that they're safe and protected and they're set up and they're close to each other. So as if I'm working or if I'm caught up at work, he's got my mum, he's got Wendy, he's got his family. That abandonment thing's massive and it runs deep in me. It runs really deep in me. I can remember as a youngster and chapping on my door. My door was usually open, chapping on my door. My mum was, and I would be like crying for ages and ages and ages till my mum got back, thinking she'd left because of what was going on. So that abandonment thing is massive, right? I hope you're getting this, by the way. This isn't just me offloading. This is actually the reason I've got to this position here, and I've given myself time and attention to actually feel love. Lack and deficit. When my dad died, he used to always say to us, your mum's going to be fine, Shelley. If anything happens to me, just look in the tin. Right, this infamous tin. So I looked in the tin and I couldn't find a fucking thing that was going to protect my mum. Not a thing. The mortgage wasn't paid off. My dad had, if my dad broke a finger, he was getting payouts. If my dad broke a leg, he was getting payouts. If my dad, anything happened to my dad, there was loads of things in place, but there was nothing for my mum. And so I have went to town on making sure everybody in my life is not going to be living in lack and deficit and worrying and panic, and that safety thing. That's massive for me, and I think you get that. Protection is why I say to you, you're safe on this page. Safety and protection to me is absolutely necessary, and without it, if I think somebody's compromising that because of their energy or their lippy or their see ya, here's your money back, get to. A family table. I've got a big long family table, you've probably seen it on my lives. We never had a family table, so there was a lack of family connection, and I have strived for that connection all of my life. I used to see my pals, I used to go out for my pals. My pals used to be sitting round the family table having their tea. I used to sit and think, wow, that must be amazing. And the dad would sit and chat, and the mum would sit and chat, and they'd talk about their day, and they'd say, Shelley, do you want some tea? So it was like, oh, and I craved that family connection. I used to sit and eat my tea on my knee, and sometimes my dad was drunk, sometimes he was okay, sometimes he was hungover, my mum was, there was arguments. So you're constantly living in a stressed state. So actually, when I have addressed all of these issues that were going on in my life, I have created a life for myself and for my son and for the people that I love, that they're happy, they're safe, they're nurtured, they're content, and if I can bring any level of service and significance to the lives of you, I am there for every single one of you, and it helps me love myself deeper. It really does. I feel a deep level of self-love, I really do, because my heart is pure, and what I do is straight from my heart, right from my heart to your ears is what I do. And I don't think you can actually elevate your life until you've been there and you've fixed all that shit that's happened and you've pulled it through and you've went, poof, it's like magic dust now. There you are, let's sprinkle it on the world. But well done on all of your achievements, you're phenomenal. These are just the small things. The meal plan, the moving, do the research, dig deep. But hopefully you're feeling the benefits already, I'm sure you are.